And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, welcome in a new big edition of TigerBait Live tonight. SEC football kickoff media days 2025. I don't even know if I said the order of all those words right, but that's what they're calling it this week. Brian Kelly, of course, first up on Monday, and we've got one more day of it in Atlanta tomorrow. We've had all that, of course, up on our YouTube channel, and we're going to talk about that. We can talk football recruiting. We can talk basketball arena. You guys drive the show with your questions or comments. And, of course, I'm Mike Scarborough, and my sidekick, Buddy Songy, right here. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, Mike. Great segment with Mike today on the radio. And as I was driving on the way over here to do the show today, I was starting to think, where's LSU going to be picked?
Fourth.
And I agree with that. I think everybody's thinking Georgia, Texas, 1-2, flip-flop either way.
I don't know, man. That I bet you the Alabama LSU vote, whatever separates them, I think that's going to be really – I could be wrong, but I think that's going to be really close. It won't shock me if LSU –
Well, no, I'm saying Georgia, Texas, Alabama, LSU are going to be the top four, I think. But who knows? But I was just thinking on the way over here, what LSU players are going to be preseason all SEC first team or second team? And I got to be honest with you, I was struggling. Nuss obviously could be one. But man, you got nobody on the offensive line. You got a bevy of receivers with so many receivers in the conference. We know how good Trey Green is going to be.
If you were voting, and this goes to second team or whatever, which receiver is most likely to get more votes, Hilton or Aaron Anderson? Or does Barian Browns transfer from Kentucky or Nick Anderson's from Oklahoma?
Yeah.
It could be Anderson.
Well, I think Aaron Anderson is the guy that could get picked. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, one of the others. But on defense, I mean, what do you do with Harold Perkins? Do you pick him first or second team, not knowing where he's going to fit? No. Weeks will probably get a vote. Do you put in a Patrick Payton or a Jack Pyburn on the edge? Who knows? Do you put in? I mean, there's not going to be.
No, but that really is a crapshoot, buddy.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. I don't think
the voters in Atlanta know it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
So the bigger question is who's going to be all SEC in December?
Yeah, that's the more important.
With all these turnovers of rosters and NIL, and someone out there has had to have done it. I wonder what the average number of roster turnover is this year in the league.
Sounds like a job for Brian Lazar.
30%.
Probably.
Yeah.
But let's chop it up, folks. This is the summertime. We're in the dog days of summer. I am anticipating about 2 weeks away, this being the 16th of July, I would imagine we're going to know our availability and the fall practice schedule. We're about 2 weeks. You go.
I know. So that's the
16th to the end of the month, and the 30th, 31st. We're getting here. We're 2 weeks away.
You didn't even know that was the title of the show.
What's that?
TigerBait Live, LSU football weeks away from fall camp.
There you go.
All right. Let's dive in, everybody. Y'all hit the share button. Please share our show out. We're, of course, streaming live on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. And we're going to go for about an hour. And you guys drive the show with your questions and comments. Let's dive in. Brad David, right up first up. Good evening, Mike and Buddy. Do you think the 2026 LSU starting quarterback is on the roster, or will BK go on the portal? What did I say today?
Well,
Brad, were you listening to the show, my segment with Buddy? Because he asked me that question. And I said, I don't believe that the starting quarterback for LSU in 26 is currently on the team.
Look, it is hard to imagine. And one of the first things that you got to put in your noggin and know is that Garrett Nussmeier, this is his team. Everybody's talking about how much of a vocal leadership role he has taken. But, man, after Nuss, you just don't know. Van Buren is a guy that played at Mississippi State, but we didn't see enough in the spring to know that he is a seamless transition as the quarterback. Colin Hurley coming off the injury. Jawan Johnson's a stopgap. And of course, I asked you that question, and you think they're going to try to steal somebody with a bag of money before December, and I think it could come from the portal.
I'd like to have someone spy on Joe Sloan and see where he's sneaking off to on a Friday night in the fall. to me, you try to steal one who's committed, come in with a bigger bag of money.
But aren't most
obviously not the ones that were highly rated, that are the high dollar, but somebody you've got some familiarity with, have a relationship with, you can steal in November. And then on top of that, you go on the portal and you get a guy that's either a grad transfer or has 1 year left. And then you go to your class of 27 that's loaded, of course.
But inquiring minds want to know, is the 26 starting quarterback on the roster right now? And we give you, I don't know, but there's a high probability he may not be. Now, that motivates those guys, but that's just the way it is right now.
I think they got to get 2 quarterbacks. And then how high are the odds that 2 quarterbacks that are currently there right now with eligibility will hit the portal on their own?
Sure.
And what's the discussions like with Colin Hurley? How do you sell him on another year? There you go. All right. Smith Clinton, someone please bless me with something to feed my kids. They have eaten nothing from yesterday. And yeah, there we go. No, look at that. Yeah.
What? He wants to win some sausage or
someone wants some money sent to their PayPal. That's not happening.
Okay.
But they can log into YouTube and they have a smartphone to do it.
Yeah.
To ask for money.
There you go.
That user was blocked. Okay. All right. Dr. John Sibley Butler, LSU is impressive at the SEC media event, looking for a great season. At last, LSU has SEC talent in all positions. BK realized after 3 years what it takes, and it is still hard. Dr. Butler, I got a question for you. Obviously, you're LSU and Texas. Are those of us on the outside right to have Arch Manning fatigue? The hype machine.
I got to be honest with you. I think Arch Manning has
no sophomore quarterback has ever had this kind. Of course, I think back to Jamarcus Russell, and of course, Jimbo Fisher could never get a quarterback ready that quickly. They got to ride the pine and only be ready if they're a redshirt junior, and even then, they probably weren't ready. Trevor Lawrence could have never succeeded with Jimbo as his quarterback coach. I'm sorry.
I'm impressed though with Arch Manning.
No,
he's got a lot of people he can lean on. His daddy was a player at Ole Miss and got hurt. His uncles have each won 2 Super Bowls, and his grandfather, Archie Manning, is going to teach him the old school manners. And he did say, I lean on my grandfather, Archie, and he said, be a good guy and a good teammate. And it is going to be very interesting to see you said it on the show today. That is going to be a hell of a debut at Ohio State, defending champions, 11 o'clock on August 30th. But I looked at Texas' schedule. I looked at Georgia's schedule. Man, it's hard not to see those teams.
Can you name a quarterback in LSU history, either redshirt freshman or second-year quarterback, that had this much hype and had to perform at such a high level to meet expectations, or that LSU fans just knew all season long they were the guy? And even the only name I can come up with that could be in that, two of them, Josh Booty and Jamarcus Russell.
Well, without the hype, Tommy Hodson was fantastic as a redshirt freshman. He didn't have any hype.
Right.
Jamarcus Russell had the hype. Josh Booty had the hype.
Josh Booty had a load of hype.
A lot of hype. But look, man, forget the hype. We're going to find out what you're made of here in another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But I thought Arch Manning handled himself really well. And you're talking about a guy that's already brought in $4 or $5 million in NIL. I asked you this when he was being recruited. You basically said, I don't think he'd have been a 5-star and that highly ranked had his name been Adams or LeBlanc instead of Manning. That being said, it's interesting to see how far he's come.
I thought as a senior in high school, he was a 3-star quarterback.
Yeah.
But everybody hedged their bets and gave him a 4-star because of the pedigree. And that might have been the right – we're going to find out that was the right course.
I will say this. He's going to use his legs, and anytime you've got a quarterback that can hurt you with the arm and the legs, it's an advantage. We're hoping that Nuss becomes more of a natural runner. And and picks up some big yardage. But Arch can take it to the house. I'm impressed with Arch's.
Brad David listening to your show today because he's got another question that's coming.
Okay.
Brad, admit that were you listening to
That's
Buddy's
all
show
right.
today? He says, Mike, what are your thoughts on McMahon's offseason? Is it enough to improve?
Carl the Cat sent me the roster with all the numbers on that. I'm not ready to get into the basketball roster, but Brad, Mike did say it. It is imperative that Matt McMahon make the big dance this year. Otherwise, like you said, it's going to be hard to sell the program to anybody moving forward.
Yeah.
We're all pulling for you, Coach, but you got to put some skins on the wall. And who knows? He brought in a slew of new players.
Absolutely. All right. It's that time of the show. We need to hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride Roofing. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
There you have it. 855-PRIDE-16. Say TigerBait when you call to get your free roof inspection. And look, we got some bad weather coming in. If you have any roof damage, call Pride. 855-PRIDE-16. Don't mess around. They're going to get to you quickly. They're going to make sure your roof has the blue tarp on it and have what you need to get you through until the insurance adjuster can come. They're who you want to call if you have any damage. When is that storm supposed to hit?
Well, they don't really know which way it's going to go, whether it's going to go west or whatever. We're going to get some rain, and there's going to be some shingles down, and there's going to be some possible wind damage and roof damage. And look, it's not just residential, commercial, and metal roofs, but whatever you need. It is all of the stuff we talk about, all the shingles, all the inventory, and they do a great job of believing in this community and backing it up. You know, a lot of people brag, oh, I do this, this, and this. They don't need to brag, folks. Give them an opportunity. But, yeah, weather coming in sometime tomorrow into Friday and hopefully out of here. We don't know the extent because is it going to go west? Is it going to come up northeast? Whatever. But certainly there could be some damage. And 855-PRIDE-16, you will love doing business with them. They're no nonsense. You like them. And don't forget, Mike, any bona fide offer and deal that you have going on, if you supply that information and that proof, they will beat it by $150.
Absolutely. And Baton Rouge, Houma, New Orleans, North Shore, of course, main branch in Hammond, Thibodaux, Southeast Louisiana covered like a blanket. Baton Rouge area and surrounding area, nobody's going to do it better for Pride Roofing. So Dr. John Sylvie Butler says, yes, Arch is getting a lot of attention. He's a good kid and admits that he has not done anything, but he can hit a golf ball. His guys were in front of me in front of my foursome.
Hey, it's interesting that he says that because quarterbacks are good golfers. A lot of hand-eye coordination. Aaron Rodgers has played in the big celebrity thing. By the way, Barkley was fantastic the first day and then started taking gas. But I don't think people care about how far Nussmeier hitting the golf ball, played a lot of golf. A lot of quarterbacks play a lot of golf. But as we know, BK and Hugh Freeze, if they play a lot of golf.
That's my question. That's another question I had on Buddy's show. Hugh Freeze has taken loads of guff. Of course, they're not happy with what the one-loss record since in the Freeze era. But Auburn fans are really taking issue with the amount of golf that that Hugh Freeze plays. And I'm wondering if Brian Kelly, if they're upset over there. Now, you argue that it might be different this year, but Brian Kelly plays a lot of golf too. Brian Kelly, it's time to shine. No more excuses. Get them kids a killer eating stick, says Devin Johnson. Mike Minville gives a shout out. He says, man defined meats. There you go.
Hey, going to be spicy this year. By the way, don't forget, eat Manda sausage and Boudin every Saturday on game day. Gives LSU a chance to a better chance to win. And we're also now, Mike, I guess I'm going to clear this with the boss now, but we're going to give out a pack of sausage every week with score predictions on TigerBait, courtesy of TigerBait and Man Defined Meat. So get your predictions. Look, you got to get them here before the game. We don't want anything once it's 7-0 or whatever, but great sponsors, great community partners. Don't forget the official smoked sausage of LSU Athletics.
And here you go. You see it on the screen. Genesis of Lafayette. You see that 2026 Genesis GV70. 2026 models are in, and you can get 4.99 APR. You guys know that the interest rates have been bad everywhere. You cannot beat the Genesis GV70 if you're looking for a small luxury SUV, most beautiful interiors out there. That's why you want to do business with Genesis of Lafayette. And again, 6600 Johnson Street in Lafayette, the largest Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. Trust me, if you're in the market for a vehicle in that class, that or the GV80 or the sedans, any Genesis vehicle, and all of them are the highest rated, do yourself a favor. Deal with Genesis of Lafayette. I don't care if you're in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Monroe, East Texas. They'll make it worth your while over at Genesis of Lafayette. 877-856-2961, and tell them that TigerBait sent you in. All right, I get some more comments here.
By the way, real quick, Jay Johnson continues to knock it out of the park. Latest is the pitcher from Kansas. He's brought in pitchers. He's brought in left-handed hitters. In case you have not kept up with this.
First baseman.
First baseman and third baseman. Zach Cowan's coming back. Stanfield's coming back. I mean, look, congratulations to Kate Anderson.
Ethan Fry.
Took a little bit less money at the number 3 spot, but what a class act. How about getting a check for $8.8 million? This is a guy that pitched 1 year, basically, 1.5 years for LSU. And, of course, Jay said.
Did you watch his interview with the Mariners media?
Yeah.
And he was kind of getting – what a super kid.
Yeah, super kid.
Super family. LSU fans we're all proud of him.
But Jay Johnson, one thing about it now, look, I'll never forget. I told this story today, but the day after LSU won the Natty, the next year in spring with Jimbo and Saban, those were the days where we could actually walk onto the field and they let us watch calisthenics in the first 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever. And I'll never forget the spring after the Natty in 04 year. I'm asking Jimbo, you got a chance to repeat? And he looks at me and that West Virginia, he said, boy, we don't know who's going to be quarterback this year. That's the great thing about LSU going in. They've got experience. How is Nuss and all these big guys like Lagway, Cade Klubnik, they're expected to do great things. That's a tough thing about Texas and Orange. You don't know how he's going to handle the pressure. He doesn't have the experience, but having Nuss back for a second year makes a big difference.
I had a brief interaction with Jay Johnson yesterday, and I was, he's obviously excited about all the news that you guys have been seeing the last 24 hours. And I said, man, when do we get a chance to meet up with you to talk about it? And it's like, man, they're still going. They're still recruiting the portal. They're still, and then it's like, okay, well, you want to have a presser to talk about that, but then you still have to make sure who's going to end up being enrolled. And then, of course, that coincides with fall camp and football season. So it'll be the end of September deal like we usually have. But no doubt about it, he's loaded back up. And he's not done.
I got a question for you to ask Jay Johnson at the appropriate time. His daddy was a football coach. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, did he ever think about being a football coach? What made him?
He would have been successful there.
Huh?
He would have been successful.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Is
just like Kim Mulkey. I think Kim Mulkey could coach multiple sports.
Well, but I'm just saying, I'm just curious as to how
Brian Kelly coached softball. Brian Kelly started his career coaching softball.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Dude, I just think Jay Johnson would have been a great football coach.
He was a football coach and girls softball, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, BK was first out of the gate, and I did not look at the tape. I had this question, how many times will he say the C word, championship? But I got to ask you, didn't have a chance on the radio to ask you, do you think this is a good thing, or you have some trepidation with all eggs in the basket of Clemson, talking about we're focusing 1-0, got Clemson this, Clemson that. It's a true road game, and it is going to be a top 5 team on the road. I don't think BK has beaten many top 5 teams on the road, whether it's here or Notre Dame. So daunting task.
You just don't want one of those post-game pressers. And look, this is a different animal. Top 5 opponent on the road to opener. You just don't want those post-game pressers where he's like, well, I thought we were that, but we're not. Like,
He better know his personnel like August 1. And with 18 new portals in, 22 new freshmen in, and redshirts in, interesting, folks, more than half the team is going to be new, and another 15 players didn't play, whether it be redshirt or and Cabo made a good point today. He said, look, everybody's expecting Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins to just go out there and fly around. They're coming off serious injuries. So we will monitor that on our practice reports if anybody's gimpy and who's not out there because of a tweaked ankle or a knee.
Brad David, Mike, have you ever been to media days? I have never been to SEC football media days. To me, and they don't do that anymore, but it would have been 20 years ago. I don't know when they stopped doing the golf tournament. The media would play golf one day, and I always thought, to me, it's good for the media if you host a daily radio show and you've got a sponsor and you're there each day because look, what are they doing? All the guys are on Media Row. They've got their tables, their podcast set up. They're looking around and they're seeing who's going to walk by so they can grab them by the arm and say, hey, can you give me 10 minutes? And then they can chop that video up, put it on YouTube, and it's great for content. I kind of think, well, maybe we ought to do that one year where we go and set up a table and do it that way. And who knows, we might. But
I went a couple times 15, 20 years ago when it wasn't so big and it was in Alabama and everything was right there. But what you get is that you come back. First of all, when's LSU going to speak? How many days you're going to go? Who are you going to? These are the days when Spurrier and all those other guys, man, there wasn't a lot of charisma so far that I've seen.
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, you get to hear Whit Weeks. You got to hear Nussmeier, and it's mainly you want to see them afford themselves very well and represent and, not step in it. And they're coached well. But there's did you learn anything you didn't know? No.
And I even told you this, BK was not throwing around a lot of players or big time information. He was talking in generalities and talking about what they're trying to do is still want them to graduate. And I think everybody knows that the problem BK has now is that the roster is there where it should compete. I didn't even realize this when I went through and have done this the last 2 weeks. Man, you're talking about giving up in the second half a game that you had no business losing. Let's just cut to the chase. They changed game plans offensively and defenses against USC, lost that ball game. As we know, you can't afford to lose to Billy Napier. Me and you had Billy Napier hanging on the side of the interstate in Florida saying we'll work for food last year, and he beat LSU. Texas A&M, you're up big on them, and all of a sudden a new quarterback, and you get your butts kicked. And then Jalen Milroe, if he died and went to heaven, he would want to play LSU every freaking Saturday night because they can't stop him. That's 4 losses in the regular season. You win a meaningless game.
And multiple of those were guys that's the best they looked all season, like you just said.
Well, but now with all of this talent, you better be ready. You better tackle, and you better have special teams ready to go. Because what are the first 2 years with Florida State? Special teams faux pas.
Yeah. It's. I think really what media days is become now. Certainly, there's no spring games. You don't have the SEC network replaying the spring games all summer long. But if you're of a certain age, to me, it kind of replaces the days where you couldn't wait when the K&B had all the Athlons and the Lindys and the Phil Steele.
City newsstand, man.
City newsstand, wherever you went. And you got those, and that was like
gospel.
That was like Christmas Day. Because it was hyping you up for football season.
And, of course, social media has made all those magazines almost obsolete because everything's happening.
I sat down with Hannegriff for his show last week, and he had Phil Steele, and I looked at the price on it. It was $20 for that book.
Yeah.
And the format has not changed. It looks the same way it did 30 years ago.
Well, I mean, that kind of stuff, fine, but I'm just talking about the daily and the weekly stuff is almost obsolete because it's happened so fast now. Just like like you said today on the show, McElroy, 20, 30 minutes in the SEC Media Days, throws out this elephant in the room that, I got it on good authority. These are people that know what they're talking about, that Nick Saban might come back. So I got Larry Leo, whatever the clown is, that posts stuff on different stuff, and he says, Saban coming back to college, like it was etched in stone. That was for clicks. That was for attention.
Well, like I told you today, and a lot of you that were watching this show subscribe to a lot of YouTube channels. There's a lot of YouTubers and podcasters that made a small fortune Monday because of all the clicks they got. If they put Nick Saban return to coaching ? In their headline, McElroy put a lot of money in a lot of YouTubers' pockets.
And Nick Saban is not the one making that decision. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you know, you know. And you know who's making that decision? Miss Terry.
Yep.
So I don't think it's going to happen. We know he still is involved in football. We know he still loves the X's and O's. But there is no way he's going to jump into that.
Look at that. My buddy over at the Savakit, which is the local version of the Babylon Bee. If y'all don't ever look at the Savakit on Twitter and X and Facebook, always have some great funny stuff about local issues and much more. And love the Savakit. It's like the Babylon Bee.
What did he say? What was his comment?
I just said, "What's up, guys?"
Oh, okay.
And Brad David, Mike, okay, here we go. Carl the Cat Dunn. Should I go ahead and start saving money now for Omaha and a steak?
Come on, Cat. Are you kidding?
It's never wrong to save money.
I know, but
if they don't get there, then you got a Christmas fund.
We've got football, we've got Christmas, we've got women's and men's basketball, and so I don't get into baseball until February. So, Cat, I will say this.
I think Carl the Cat's he's already moving past men's basketball. He's going straight to baseball.
And listen, when you take a picture with the national championship coach and a trophy, it makes you have an affinity for LSU baseball.
Carl Cat is the master of getting selfies and photos with all the movers and shakers.
Yeah.
All right. David Lawrence, I'm thinking the year will rest on the shoulders of the offensive line. What say you guys? How does our offensive line stack up? It's a work in progress. Get rid of the ball quick. Nussmeier design runs and Bauer Sharp quick pass. Bauer Sharp, Aaron Anderson quick pass. Delay handoffs to Caden Durham. Screen passes. Although, have you liked the LSU screen game in recent years?
No. I think they could do a much better job with the screen.
I did see some middle screens and I always love middle screens.
There's no
LSU
doubt about it.
has never been a team to pull off the middle screen very well.
I agree 100%, but I'm going to put it on the two outside guys. You had Campbell and you had Emory Jones. Now, Will got picked in the first round by the New England Patriots at 4th, but I think if Will told you, you know what, I had more penalties last year than I had the first 2 years playing, and ever since he had that, it's a shame because he's such a great guy, but people thought it was bulletin board. We're going to fist fight. This is a business trip and all that. And they acted like they were going to line up and push USC around. And unfortunately, they weren't able to do that. And so now, if it's Tyree Adams and Weston Davis or a combination of the tackles, those are going to be the guys that I watch because everybody's got edge rushers. And if you've got guys coming in and Nussmeier is back there and he's got 2.1 seconds to make a decision, you better be getting dumped off to Power Sharp, Harlan Berry, Caden Durham, or whatever. You better get rid of it quickly. But those two tackles, to me, I think Braylon Moore, DJ Chester, Josh Thompson, and all those other guys inside, I think they're going to be fine at center.
I think DJ Chester is going to be a very, very good guard.
But we expect him probably to be guard. Braylon Moore expected to be center. Josh Thompson, is he going to play tackle? But those two outside guys protecting the edge, going to be imperative for LSU's run game and protecting the quarterback.
Everybody need to get over to one of the best lunch spots in all of Baton Rouge. Of course, we really like to highlight, you see it there on the screen, the Eggs Benedict, but then you see this one, the chicken and waffles and the dream cake. get over to Capital City Grill. It really is one of your best lunch spots in all of Baton Rouge. Great burgers, club sandwiches, the French dip, 100 Lafayette Street. Again, sandwiches, seafood pasta, reasonable prices, great French fries. And but the Sunday brunch from 11 to 2 is my favorite. I think it's the best brunch in Baton Rouge. And that chicken and waffles with the steamed syrup you see on the screen is just absolutely fantastic. And the best carrot cake in Baton Rouge. I'm telling you right now, stop in there to get a piece of carrot cake to go. Leave the car running and go inside and get one.
Awesome outdoor seating. It might not be appropriate for Thursday and Friday's weather. Great bar. If you have a wait, get in there, have a drink, wait for your table. They will take care of you. And the big C word we talk about, very consistent.
Absolutely. And again, Alumni Hall, folks, they bring the show to you each and every week in national championship gear. Me and the lady went to the movies this weekend. We stopped in there on the way in and just to look at everything. The tables, when you walk in the front door with the 2 for $38 T-shirts, and a lot of times they even run sales cheaper than that. The designs that they have, particularly for the youth, they've got some great LSU designs, and a lot of them for with the national championship on it for less expensive than everywhere else. Higher quality shirts than you're going to get at different places around town. And again, in Alumni Hall, and you use the code TigerBait, all one word. Use it at the register, use it online, and you'll get 10% off everything you buy.
You took 20, 30 minutes in that store, didn't you?
I was in there for a good while.
Yeah. Give you a chance, an opportunity, folks. You don't need to make that a quickie. That's a lot of fun, and you get to look at a lot of different stuff. Great deals on everything.
I mean, you really, it's you don't have any elbow room because that's how much LSU gear is in that place.
Sure.
If you're wanting a high-end polo shirt, football season, they're going to have all the Nike stuff that you see the coaches wearing on the sideline. You probably need to go over there and get it now before it sells out.
I just had a brain wave. FizzBuzz is going to come in here in the next week or two,
all right,
and predict that LSU is going to beat Clemson on the night of August 30th. And you're going to say, no way, FizzBuzz. And lo and behold, when it happens, we're going to have fun with you. Oh, wait, did I say when it happens?
I think FizzBuzz is 10-2. I think he is.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw it last week. You can probably still find it on the front page of TigerBait. I think it rolled out Friday morning. Buddy was a part of it. I was a part of it. All the names of the media that participated it were put at the bottom of it. But Preston quizzed all the local media to give their predictions going into fall camp. Of course, those predictions can change depending on injuries and this and that. But it looked like the average was 10-2 and LSU making the playoffs amongst the LSU media.
Yeah.
And nobody went below 9-3.
Yeah.
No, one person went below 9-3. 8-4.
Well, look, if you lose the opener and you're expecting 10-2, that is tough. You got Florida in week 3 here. You got Ole Miss on the road in week 5. You've got an open date. Then you got 2 weeks to get ready. Lenore Sellers beats LSU if he doesn't get hurt last year. They're coming to town. A&M is coming to town, and you owe them. Vanderbilt beat Alabama in Nashville. Alabama's always tough, although the LSU plays better and beats them more in Bama than Baton Rouge. And then you and I talked about it a little bit. Man, if LSU is 9-2 and you've got Brent Venables coaching for his job and you got Brian Kelly coaching to get in the playoffs, that's going to be a hell of a final game. So all those games we just talked about, there's 7 or 8 games right now that it could come down to the fourth quarter, last possession or 2.
Roman George Jr., good evening, Mike and Buddy. From what you two have seen out of Colin Hurley, what you believe he needs to improve on to be considered the future quarterback of LSU?
Accuracy to me. I think that was the main thing, huh? And
that's the same thing with Van Buren. Yeah. Accuracy.
Yeah. But we haven't seen Colin, and we don't know what his rehab's been like. We think he's going to be 100%.
And then sometimes it's like, well, how might one of these guys look if we really got to stay for a whole practice and we actually got to see them run the number one offense?
I was going to say, and with the number ones, look, you could get a lot better if you're dinking and dunking to all those wide receivers.
Right.
So it's a crapshoot. We'll get a better idea of that once we see fall drills.
Yeah. Dr. John Sibley Butler, BK is great, but needs to acknowledge the Tiger winning traditions and players. The standard was set before he got here. The 2 years after COVID does not define us. You're absolutely right on that. And he also adds the Tigers have great players everywhere. Sort of interesting because winning will be hard. Yeah. BK says it. I was saying it before he said it. This is his best roster.
Sure.
And he could go 9-3 with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I was trying to point out, Mike, is that Vanderbilt is not the old Vanderbilt. Texas A&M, we know, historically grabbed the throat and finished 8-4, but they beat LSU last year. Florida beat LSU last year. Ole Miss beat LSU the last time they played in Mississippi. And so my point is that there aren't many cupcakes on that schedule this year.
Yeah, and if you are 9-2 and the game in Norman decides it, that one ain't going to be easy. To get to 10-2, if you're going to get there, is going to be so difficult. And it's going to be difficult if you beat Clemson.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to have a magical year, and you have to have Blake Baker's defense be
appreciably better.
Do you have to say twice as good?
I'm just saying appreciably better.
Appreciably better, but they also need to be really high in the league on giveaway, takeaway.
They gave up 24.3 points a game. They gave up 364 yards a game. That's 11th and 14th, respectively, in the conference. You know the stat I go crazy on, only 6 INTs. Got to have more takeaways. Had 8 fumbled recoveries. Got to take it away more than 14 times. Of course, they gave it away. 12 INTs and lost 5 fumbles, so they were -3 on turnover ratio. You've got to be positive in the turnover ratio, but I want to see – A.J. Halsey had 5 INTs last year. Now, granted, he's playing in Houston and different caliber, but, Mike, I want to see double-digit INTs this year.
LSU just won the toss. BK is electing to receive.
Hey, look, I asked Pete Cardelli. He agreed with you. I can't wait to ask him because I'm going to ask him the first freaking press conference before Clemson.
He ain't going to tell you, but
I'm going to ask. He ain't going to tell me the real deal.
I think they take the ball.
But I think
y'all give us your prediction
this year, because the defense is going to be – it depends on how much he believes in the defense. I think you defer on the road. You put your defense out there. You get a stop. Everybody's going crazy. You don't get a stop. You hold them to a field goal. You get the football. But if you do take the football and drive down to the 10, and then you have a brain fart on whether to kick a field goal or what play to call, and you get nothing or 3, and Clemson scores right before half and then gets the football to start the second half.
Do you think you ask the quarterback, Nuss, how you feeling? You want us to take the ball?
No, he wants to get the ball first, yeah. But I would wish he would defer a little bit more. And if he's got a better defense like they say he is, I think he'll defer a little bit more.
Chance Babin, that Oklahoma game could be cold late November. I was telling Buddy today, I think that's the road game. If you're an LSU fan and you're looking to go on a road trip, I know Nashville is going to be packed with LSU fans. I think that's going to be probably the most – I like cold weather, particularly I'm fond of it when I'm thinking about it with what we're dealing with right now. Every afternoon, at about 4 o'clock, we get a heat alert on my phone. But I think that's the game. It's a venue you've never been to, Norman, Oklahoma. I think that's the game you want to go to at the end of November.
Boy, look, I got a look at their big quarterback today, and he reminded me of Paul Skeens. We'll give you all the particulars. I think Mike and I both have to look at more tape and see, and that's the problem with SEC. Look, we know everything about LSU and what those guys said, but Arch Manning and all the other players that we've seen in there, somebody was griping to me, an Alabama fan was griping to me, oh, man, did you see those guys? Wasn't very impressive. I thought LSU represented themselves there really in a great way. Right now, man, when you hear Garrett Nussmeier, you can tell he is locked in and ready to go and going to be a leader on this football team. But he's still got to have some help from defense and special teams.
Mike Manville, thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly, Mike. That is super rare. Mike, that's because even though I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, I spent multiple decades in Lafayette, and I learned how to say names like yours. In fact, if I remember, there was a very attractive lady in that Lafayette.
Imagine that.
A very attractive lady with that last name in the Lafayette area.
I think you can look at the menu, but I don't think you can order right.
Yeah. let's see what we got here. Looking for D. One of the big keys is going to be the O-line. If they get it going and we can run the ball, all games are different.
You know, that second down play, there are two things I want to say about that. I forgot who put the stat out, but on the back end of the year, LSU had become so predictable that a high percentage of times when they got into pistol formation, they ran the frickin' football, like 90%. You self-analyze and you look at all of that stuff and you see tendencies, so they got to change that. But, man, that second down call right up the gut for no game. We talk about Joe Sloan. To me, that's BK with his hand on Joe Sloan. I don't think Joe Sloan's calling that play.
I got a question for you, and I'm going to put you guys in the chat. Give us your answer. Caden Durham goes out. Which running back gets the most opportunities after Durham? Is it Caleb Jackson or Harlan Berry?
Well, we gotta see how Caleb Jackson is reading.
But you got to make a guess right now. If you had a guess.
I don't want to think about that because I want Caden Durham healthy the whole time. But I think it would be a combination.
But you have to rotate him.
If Caleb Jackson can see the hole and run over people, he's plenty good enough. Harlan Berry is going to be good. Both of us were very impressed.
And by the way, when you make this prediction, you if you've watched LSU football over the years, you have to also factor in Frank Wilson's rotation. And is that young freshman going to put the ball on the ground, or is it they're going to be a mistake, and I'm going to regret putting him in over that guy?
Yeah,
you got to factor that into your.
Well, that's why Josh Williams got so many reps. And look, we both said Josh Williams shouldn't be playing on third down. Josh Williams made a bunch of plays, but I want to think about Caden Durham running the football for over 1,000 yards. And if that's
I do want Caleb Jackson to have a breakout year.
I'd love to see Caleb Jackson run with better vision because he's got some talent. Harlan Berry, what I was going to say is, even though he's 185, 186, whatever he's going to come back in, still runs pretty decent inside the tackles. But, man, I can't wait to see him with the little swing pass, put his foot in the ground, make somebody miss, and take it to the house or pick up a first down. I want to see a lot of quick passes to the running backs. And, oh, by the way, Caden Durham's pretty damn good receiver as well.
Yep. Dane Bergeron on the house. He gives us a good evening, Mike and Buddy. His answer is Harlan Berry. B. Washington says Caleb. And Chance Babin says, how about the running back from Alexandria, JT Lindsay? Looking forward to seeing him.
He's probably a little behind because he wasn't an early enrollee, but you saw him more in high school than I did. Look, the great thing about LSU, always going to be running back by committee. Now, Durham will start, but he will get spelled. And so you said it today. LSU should never have problems at running back and wide receiver. I will say this, though, and I've said this the last couple of years. You've got to have one guy on that team that can take it to the house and on a busted defensive play, take it to the house and punish them. I'm hoping Caden Durham is a little faster. I think he'd have been fantastic if he had not gotten hurt last year. But I'm excited about Harlan Berry. I'm not going to promote Caleb Jackson because we've done it for 2 years. Didn't score a touchdown at all last year. I'm just hoping that he gets his confidence in his vision.
All right. Dykes Electrical, everybody, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. And just like I said about Pride Roofing earlier in the show, you might have seen us tweet it out. They're really gearing up for any weather issues that might cause any electrical problems. Keep them in mind. If you have any issues, write this number down, 225-216-9180. And again, we talk about them, whether you need a 10-story office building wired, if you need a 200,000 square foot warehouse built, expanding your existing commercial building, they can wire all of that. If you have any breaker issues, you want to change one out, an electrical panel or a receptacle, or just changing lighting in your home or office, they can wire that. Again, 225-216-9180, a great Louisiana company, and they will give you a free estimate on your project. And let them know TigerBait sent you in. And what do I need to tell you about this great one? A new restaurant sponsor of our show, Bay's Oyster Bar. Preston and I, of course, were live there a month ago, and the best oysters I've ever eaten. I'm going to be heading back there very soon. Great bar. And again, right there, downtown Baton Rouge. And just super. The po' boy I had there, the turkey, brie, and bacon po' boy, out of this world. And of course, they're located at 315 North Boulevard, downtown Baton Rouge. Farm-raised oysters from Grand Isle. There's no mud, there's no grit, just clean, delicious flavor. And again, you're not into oysters, swap in some boiled shrimp, and boy, they spice those up. The turkey, brie, and bacon sandwich, like I said, and their roast beef po' boy. I'm telling you, you can eat 2 big meals off of 1 po' boy. That's how much beef is on that thing. And so, again, bourbon whiskey, a massive craft beer selection. Tell them TigerBait sent you in 315 North Boulevard, and it's the old Jolie Pearl. You know, they took it over, put a lot of money in it, and that is your best oyster spot in Lafayette. I see that outfit out of New Orleans. What is this, about their 3rd location? They're about to relocate again. You know who I'm talking about. Stick with the local folks. Bay's Oyster Bar.
Hey, quick tidbit. We want to wish Ashley Nat, affectionately known as Bugs. She was an incredible gymnastic performer, always incredibly classy. Was many, many times over an All-American. She told Jay Clark late in the season, look, this is probably going to be it for me. Obviously, the Tigers did not win the Natty and did not follow it up with another national championship. But she is moving back to Florida to be with her boyfriend and probably get married and have a family. We wish her the best of luck. Super class, but man, Haley Bryant, a seamless transition. If there was anybody I wanted to give NIL money to, it'd be Haley Bryant. She was that classy. And we'll see if
Alumni Hall had her there for NIL, and signing autographs. That's the way you do it. That's why you need to shop at Alumni Hall.
But we wish Haley the best. I don't know if now Bugs was the balance beam coach. Don't know if they'll change it around or what. But Haley Bryant is going to be back and taking Bugs' place. And so Bugs, I can't say enough great things about Jay Clark and the gymnastics and the way they conduct themselves. But good luck to Bugs, and I know Haley's going to do a fantastic job coaching this year.
Dane Bergeron says he's going to Bays tomorrow. Absolutely. Chance Babin, what is Nick Anderson's status after the accident? He should be 100%. He was darn near 100% in spring. Well,
BK said he did require medical attention, but they expect him to be ready to go for the first day of fall practice. So we don't know if he just got bloodied up with a nose or face or something like that. But I will tell you, you got to drive careful. There's a lot of people cutting in front of people. I had somebody cut right in front of me the other day, and had the girlfriend not being there going, whoa, my God, watch. It could have been a fender bender. So it happens a lot. As we know, this is a guy that 2 years ago for Oklahoma caught 31 footballs. 10 of them were for touchdowns. This is a guy that's going to make people pay once he gets confident, gets on the field, along with Barron Brown, Destin Hill, all those wide receivers. Micah went through them, 9 or 10, and we're not even including Jelani Watkins, who's as fast as any football player in the country.
Brad David, Mike, are you and Buddy going to put out videos during fall camp? Yes, we are. Again this year, those Smoky Investment Team practice reports. We sure will. Let's see what we got here.
Hey, do we have
Washington says Caden goes over 1,000. You think Durham goes over 1,000?
I agree.
He said Caleb needs 700-800. The freshman, a couple of hundred apiece. Run game needs to produce 2,000 to 2,500 yards, 20 to 25 touchdowns between the running backs. That's some lofty numbers.
Yeah, that's a little lofty right now. Are we talking just rush, or are we talking pass receptions as well?
Is that all purpose?
Yeah.
If that's all purpose, that you might be right.
Look, we have promoted Caleb Jackson until we're blue in the face. And one of these days, the light's going to come on for him.
Because there's been flashes.
There has been flashes. But he needs to get a Coke sponsorship with NIL so he can get some Coke bottle glasses like Carl the Cat has to improve that vision. But once you get him out in space, I guarantee you in fall camp, there won't be too many DBs that want to tackle him.
No, he's a beast. He's big. He's fast.
And he's mean.
But look,
I'm talking about mean as a runner.
I will say this. BK was right when he said, you're talking about a kid who was primarily a soccer player growing up. Didn't start playing football till his sophomore year.
And he got hurt his final year.
And he played 1 year really of football and then got hurt.
And, of course, Harlan Berry, the big question for Harlan Berry is, A, is he big enough? And B, did the level of competition stunt his growth? I think Harlan Berry is going to be an incredible football player. It might take him 5 to 6 weeks. They will find a role for Harlan Berry come midseason. Now, I'd love to see it on the opening night. Speaking of that, we had this discussion after you left. What do you think, DJ? The great DB coming in, DJ Pickett. What do you think? Is he going to be ready to go week one? See, that's the kind of stuff that makes it more problematic with facing Clemson. He's going to be a great cornerback at LSU, but is he going to be ready?
I tend to think coaches are going to put a veteran back there and then move guys like him in slowly.
Yeah, that's what I say. You can't know whether you can depend on him on the opening night.
I want to see Harlan Berry right off the bat, but I just know the history of the way Frank rotates. And it's like, man, and you rattled off 9 wide receivers.
Yeah,
I mean, they're wealthy at running back, wealthy at tight end. I mean, if the running back's going to get all those carries and all those numbers, and you got 9 wide receivers and 7 of them can play on Sunday, probably. Man, where does Bauer Sharp and Trey'Dez Green get the ball?
Well, you better have Trey'Dez Green inside the red zone, or I'm going to be screaming.
I mean,
he is a mismatch.
It's an embarrassment of riches. And yeah, I get the offensive line is a problem, but if you move around and Garrett Nussmeier has design runs and there's no hesitation, and he takes off and can keep them honest, and you've got the right play calling, you can blister some defenses with a quick passing game.
You made a great point. Move the pocket around, move Nuss a little bit, but dink and dunk. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 17, 82, and 83. That's 10 wide receivers. Xavier Thomas, Aaron Anderson, Destin Hill, Chris Hilton, Nick Anderson, Barry Brown, Kyle Parker, Jelani Watkins, and then the 2 freshmen, Colin Billiot, who's a redshirt freshman, and, of course, the man they call man-child, Teron Francis, 83. I like Teron Francis, Mike. I think we're going to be talking about him in another year or two as that next great Louisiana wide receiver.
Brandon Greer with a great question. I had to scroll up and grab it. Hello, guys, and great show as always. But I have to ask, just how confident are you on our quarterback room, especially if Nuts gets hurt? I'm very confident if Nuss is healthy. I'm not so confident if he gets hurt.
I don't know. If Nuss gets hurt,
I'm quickly adjusting to 7 and 5.
If Nuss gets hurt, you're going to do more of this, and I'm drinking water. That's all I drink, but you're going to have more alcohol on Saturday because it's going to have to calm your nerves. I don't want to even think about it like that. But
and by the way, most schools in the SEC are in the same boat.
Yeah, not many people have a great backup, but let's just hope we don't have to see it. I don't know how many cupcakes they'll have. Well, they'll be able to get the backup quarterback in. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, Jawan Johnson, do they have a package for him and a Wildcat package?
See, it's like, why do you do that when you got all these weapons? That's why I just think
well, you do that inside the red zone to put run pass option on the defense, but he's a good athlete. You don't think he should be a quarterback, though, right?
No.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I know his folks disagree, and I get it. Maybe you do something early, maybe against Tech, put him in there, and maybe put him in there and he throws it, so you have something on film.
Now Van Buren can run as well. Now he's you know,
and that's the other part of it. Do you put Jawan Johnson in for something special like that, but Buren doesn't get anything? Van Buren? Yeah. That
is moving forward. If you skip this year, that is the biggest question around the program. Who is going to be the bell cow quarterback 26, 27, and 28?
Chance Babin, Mike, does it hurt LSU that the Jesuit defensive line is going to IMG? I got something on that. I glanced at it. I haven't really made the calls on that yet.
Legitimate 5-star now, huh?
Yeah.
Defensive end, edge rush?
I don't think it hurts.
No?
But we'll see. Forstall. Yeah.
By the way, the edge rushers this year are going to be fantastic. I know we're watching them against those LSU young tackles that don't have a lot of experience, but I cannot imagine Jack Pryburn and Patrick Payton and Jabari Butler and Gabriel Relaford and all those guys. I just can't imagine them not making a lot of plays this year.
Y'all do me a favor. If you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button, and very much appreciate you guys. If you're watching us on Facebook, please follow our Facebook channel. And again, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get alerted for whenever we go loads of interview or a press conference or go live, hit that notification bell and you'll get an alert to your cell phone as soon as we do that. This is big, Brad. What do you think of LSU hiring Sam Petito?
I'm glad it brought up because the three
you.
guys, I think I want you to Bolden from Mississippi. Of course, I know you're real high on Jeff Martin that came from USC, and then
Jeff
Sam
Martin.
Petito.
I've known Jeff Martin for 25 years. It seems like LSU grad, New Orleans native, one of the most favorite of all former players. He's huge for LSU, and I hated that he had to go away and then come back, but that is a big get to come back. You're talking about a guy that even when he wasn't here, I would always see him at the stadium. Like nobody loves LSU more than Jeff Martin. That's big. Petito, a guy that has hurt LSU in recruiting it many turns, and to finally get him in the fold is big.
And Bolden worked with Austin Thomas at Ole Miss, and so now
Austin Thomas has hit his stride in a big way.
Well, look, and this is what fans have got to understand. BK has basically taken the part of NIL and general manager and recruiting and divvying up the money and figuring out who's worth this and who. I think he's handed the ball to Austin Thomas and these three guys out here. And I think, Mike, it is going to be fantastic for LSU moving forward.
Yeah, Jeff Martin's from New Orleans. I know Sam's from Amite, Dr. Butler.
Yeah. Well, you know the question that everybody's got to ask. I'll ask you today. Does Sam coming over here impact the recruitment with Blaine Bradford from Calicut?
I think it does.
Yeah?
I do.
You know, you get Lamar Brown. He's locked in. You get Blaine Bradford, a position of need for LSU. That would be,
you had a little back and forth there when LSU was DBU, and it's been a while. It's kind of been a handful of years plus. The DBU where it slipped.
Yeah. Well, you said it though.
But they were always battling Ohio State, so that's part of the draw there.
Yeah. But Sam is well respected. All those guys are well respected.
I'll say this: when Ohio State comes to the South and offers a kid, that's typically a darn good sign of how good that football player is. You got to give Ohio State credit for one thing. They recruit nationally better than anybody. In fact, it's right there with some of Saban's best years.
And they also have been paying a lot. Let's be honest. Ryan Day said, look, we need $13 million for 9 players. And they went and got Caleb Downs and all those great players. That's why they won the Natty last year.
Yep.
You think Blaine Bradford comes on a home game this year?
We'll see. That'll be a news that hits 1 week, I think, during the football season, possibly.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden he's at the stadium or he's on his way.
Got to get him for a couple home games.
Yeah. And look, and that's not a stretch. His brother's on the roster.
Yep.
Okay.
And look, his mom and daddy, let's be honest, mom and daddy would love for him to be at LSU. You realize the travel involved if you've got one at Ohio State, one at LSU. I mean, how do you determine which one you go follow? I mean, it's problematic. Along those lines, the Weeks brothers, somebody asked me this question. It's kind of interesting. And we feel like Zach Weeks, the youngest, is probably going to redshirt, but would they put all 3 Weeks brothers on the field at the same time? It'd have to be special teams or whatever. But
senior night, something like that.
I don't know. But interesting to see what Wes Weeks, his role is going to be. He's got a chance to play some football. Whit Weeks, you hope he's 100%. Harold Perkins, you hope he's 100%. And that stat, 34 sacks last year. 4-0. I'm going to be disappointed if they don't get 40 or more sacks this year.
All right. I got one more to talk about, and it's Struby's. It's a big one. Struby's Seafood and Steaks. Of course, 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Locally owned and operated. Fantastic food. All fresh ingredients. The highest quality USDA prime black Angus steaks. 100% certified New York strip. Wagyu New York strip. I'm going for that one very soon, possibly this weekend. For those looking for something outside of red meat, they offer items such as the dry aged pork chop, black truffle lobster pasta, redfish, duck Louisiana, and the steak Diane. Book your reservation online tonight at strubies.com and make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. And like I always tell you, if you're looking for an appetizer, get the lamb lollipops. And for a side, the crawfish mac and cheese. And another place with a fantastic dessert menu. And you see that cowboy ribeye on the screen. But I'm going to go for the Wagyu New York strip next time I'm in there.
I'm going pork chop. The young lady that answers the phone will always tell you about reservations, tell you about parking, and make it an easy situation for you to come downtown, have a great steak, or that pork chop that is to die for.
Anything you want to add on the way out?
Just that hope everybody's staying hydrated. We know how hot it is. It's going to kick up here a couple of weeks before the start of practice. I'm going to project it. Not a lot of LSU Tigers predicted on the first team all SEC. Maybe Nuss, maybe a couple others. But don't worry about that. You and I both thinking that they're probably going to have Georgia, Texas, 1-2, either way. Alabama, LSU, 3-4. Who you have 5-6?
Does South Carolina get that high?
I got Ole Miss, South Carolina, 5-6, somewhere in that neighborhood. But look,
where are you putting the Gators?
Man, have you seen their schedule again? God.
And do you agree with them when they have LSU strength at 11?
How can you?
It sure seems tougher from where we're sitting.
Yeah, and I don't think you can really talk about a strength of schedule going into the season. Let's let this thing play out. But on paper, LSU's got a much tougher schedule than Texas and Georgia. But right now, we'll focus in on that first game. And as always, stay safe, represent this state in the right way. And look, everybody says it, regardless of the sport. Nobody like Tiger fans. Just nobody in the world like LSU fans.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the show on the way out. Follow, subscribe, notification bell, the works. And we'll see you back here again next week. Good night, everybody.